Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Cross Circle, the official podcast for PlayStation Source. I'm your moderator, Christian Buckley, joined, as always, by Mr. Kevin Diaz.
Yeah. What's up? What's going on?
How you doing, Kevin?
You know, just chilling. Still playing through. Oh my gosh! Wow. Hold on. Ratchet and Clank. There we go.
Nice.
I was like, what? I was like, wow. So yeah, that.
Still liking it?
Yeah. Like it so far. It's been very, very good. It's pacing and its beats on like how you're gonna get low story here, do this in this world, complete these challenges. It seems like very much like organized in that way. So I don't know if that's ever gonna let up, but not like it's a bad thing. I just figured like that was something to point out. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I played the Ratchet remake and I liked it a lot as a big fan of the originals. Yeah. So yeah, it's a very good game.
Should be good. Other than that, just some Black Ops 3, brushing up for Black Ops 4 beta. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that, but getting back into my COD roots. But what about you?
Exciting. Very exciting.
Yeah.
So today we're doing something that we started last week on the podcast. We started last week, right? The Spider-Man was our first one?
Yeah. Yeah.
So what we're doing for the remainder of the summer, since, like in most summers for gaming, there isn't very many news stories to cover, we are doing a fall preview, early summer leading into fall, that is. We start with Spider-Man last week, like we just said. This week, we got 3 games to run through. Varying degrees of interest. We're going to go through these. So, first off is one that I am immensely excited for, just because it's one of my favorite PlayStation 1 games. One of my favorite games of all time, probably, is in the series. Have a very fond place in my heart for the Spyro the Dragon games, the original 3, that is. So we're going to start off with the Spyro ReIgnited Trilogy, which comes out September 21st on the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, and maybe the Switch, because it's been posted like 2 or 3 different times on Nintendo's website and on Amazon that there's a Switch version coming, but it gets like immediately taken down.
Yeah, so do you think we'll see that Spyro come to Switch? Do you think it's this year, or do you think it's a ways off, a few months down? Because it's not like, postings come years out. You know what I'm saying? Like, if it's gonna post on the eShop, it's definitely in the system. Like, it's definitely a product. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's weird too, because the Crash Trilogy came to PC, but I don't think there's an official release for the PC, to my knowledge, that is.
Right.
So it's weird.
Yeah.
I know there's rumors of a Nintendo Direct coming in the coming months, so maybe they announce it there. But Spyro, the PlayStation mascot, who I preferred, is coming to pretty much almost every console within a few months. And it is a compilation of the original 3 games by Insomniac. It's 30 frames per second, even on PS4 Pro. So
how do you feel about that 30 frames? I don't know, like,
I don't mind.
I don't know if you really no, you don't mind.
Yeah, honestly, if it's as long as it's steady, I really don't mind. They can do like 30 or 60. It's never something that I've personally been hung up on. Like we mentioned earlier on last week's episode, I started playing No Man's Sky again. There's some dips there. It's usually pretty consistent for me, but there's some dips. It doesn't take me out of it.
Gotcha. Yeah, me at least, just to go off on this short thing, whatever. Me, it's very dependent on like what game I'm playing, right? So if I'm playing like especially if it's like multiplayer and it's gonna be a very competitive type of multiplayer, then I'm gonna want all the frames I can get.
Right. Yeah.
But if it's just me, a single player experience, it can be 30 and give me like higher visuals. That's totally fine, But when it's definitely a more fast paced multiplayer environment. Definitely wants 60, but beside the point, Spyro. So said it was one of your favorite games.
Yes, PS1. And I have 2 questions for you. One,
for me,
did you ever play the Spyro games as a kid?
Gotcha. So here's the thing, right? So my parents said that they did buy me the first Spyro, right? Like Spyro 1, right? For the PS1.
Right.
But I have no memory of that. They said I played it a ton with like my uncle and stuff like that. And like what they said was that like I would try to play it, but I would get stuck or I wouldn't know what to do. So my uncle would like help me.
Got it.
So that's where that comes from. But I do remember fondly playing for a long time, the one on the Game Boy Advanced. I don't know what it's called.
Yeah.
I don't know any title of it, but I know I definitely played a kind of like a third person, like top down, but at an angle.
Okay, yep. I know what you're talking about. I think
top
there was,
down at an angle. Yeah, that. Yeah, it was
I think
that.
It was
Spyro.
like Season of Ice or something.
Something like that. Yeah, that one I loved to death.
Yeah,
and I don't think that one's included in this collection.
No, sadly not.
Yeah. So I'm a little SOL on that front, but I almost picked up Crash. I really almost did.
Oh, so
didn't
cut you off real quick. So I'm assuming then, because of what you just said about Spyro, you preferred Crash?
No, I prefer Spyro. Probably, I have a lot more love for Spyro over Crash personally. But Crash, because Crash, I don't remember ever playing as a kid.
Got it.
Was not a Crash kid. Don't know why, but Crash was not part of my upbringing in gaming. But I almost got the Crash trilogy, right? So I've been kind of thinking about more getting in Spyro one, just because I have more, hooks in Spyro. I know Spyro a little bit more, in that terms of a stance. So I might end up getting this trilogy, but I feel like with all the games coming out this end of the year, that might just be add to my backlog, honestly. Just because I don't love Spyro. I like it, I like Spyro obviously, but not like a point where I have to go out and get this trilogy. You know? I don't feel like that itch to definitely get it. But and plus, I haven't seen a lot of gameplay of it either. I haven't really looked into it that much, but I probably should, honestly. But
yeah,
you seem to be very sold on the Spyro trilogy, definitely.
Oh yeah, man. The second they announced that Crash trilogy, I was like, sweet, he's back. So where's Spyro? Because Spyro was the one I preferred.
Yeah,
I have way more fun with Spyro. It's an open world 3D platformer, like Collectathon, basically. Well, not Collectathon, but you have objectives like collect orbs, dragon eggs, dragons, stuff like that. They're very fun games. So
Gotcha.
One of the things I was sort of let down with in the Crash remaster or remake, whatever you want to call it, it was the I thought it was very impressive visually, but there wasn't much appreciation for what came before it, obviously those games were treated with so much respect, and I was very impressed with the level of detail and the amount of work that Vicarious Visions put into that. It's a great package, but the Spyro ReIgnited trilogy, obviously not being done by Vicarious Visions. I don't know if that's obvious, but still under the Activision umbrella. Toys for Bob is the ones who are working on this, and
Toys for Bob?
Yes, Toys for Bob did Skylanders.
Gotcha. Okay.
So yeah, because it's funny. Skylanders was launched as a Spyro game. If you remember the first one a while back.
I don't remember it being connected to Spyro, but I know of Skylanders. I just don't remember it being connected to Spyro.
Right. Yeah.
But
I mean, I'm pretty sure he was taken out of the name of the franchise after the first one because it just blew up, and it was like, oh, Spyro isn't the one that's selling this. But
yeah, right.
So yeah, Toys for Bob is doing it. Insomniac has actually commented on the work they've seen from Toys for Bob. I know there's been some cross-studio advice between the two of them, and they're very, very happy with everything that's been going on.
Okay.
They think that they're doing a good job.
Good to hear, at least.
This is another piece of information that is great for me because visually, I think it looks cool. I like the new direction. I like how it looks very much like a storybook. But in my mind, there is every single sound of that game and soundtrack is just burned into my memory.
Right.
So,
of course, yeah.
Like I was saying, why I was disappointed with Crash, I thought they did a really good job.
I was going to ask you about this.
Right.
Yeah, I was going to ask you
the
about
score, the orchestra. I don't know if it was a full orchestra, but the Crash instrumentals and themes that they did in the Insane trilogy were all great and stuff, but it wasn't the ones I remembered, obviously. It was way more high scale. Spyro trilogy lets you switch. Big fan of that.
Oh, really? Okay, so you can use the, original soundtrack that you're used to, of course, and then they also have their new version that they updated and everything, and kind of had an iterative work. Okay, I see. Okay, that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
Like that. Because I know that was a big complaint with especially Tim. Well, no, he wasn't really that mad about it, but Tim Geddes was kind of funny. He mentioned that they changed the soundtrack to where it still sounds like it, right? It's still obviously the same tune, but it's just a whole different level of orchestra of that standpoint. Like it just sounds a little bit different, but it's the same tune and melody. You know what I'm saying? So he mentioned that. So I was gonna ask you, like, how did you feel about that? Like, was that like a major turn off? Was that
Yeah, I'll definitely check out the new stuff they have in there and see how the themes hold up and like see if I'm into it. But as of right now, I'm probably gonna be just switching to the classic soundtrack.
Right. So was that? If you have any more reservations and like kind of things that you weren't really feeling about the Crash remake and everything, like amongst those, was that kind of your major hang up to where you kind of felt like they were kind of not necessarily like disrespecting the old original games, but not taking it into its full value, if you will? Like, is that kind of like one of your main critiques with Crash, or is there like another one that you have of Crash and you're afraid is going to be in Spyro? Obviously different dev teams here, but speaking from like a general standpoint.
So Crash, I really enjoyed playing the Crash games again. I think they did a great job, like I said. Honestly, I didn't really have that big of a problem with it. I platinumed the first Crash game, and that made me want to like rip my hair out because of some of the trophies that was in that one. And Crash 2 is my favorite game in that series. That was the one I owned as a kid, and I love that game, but I burnt out on the original because I was just going crazy. So I didn't platinum 2 yet. So
do you think you'll go back and platinum it?
Eventually, yeah. I'll get back to it. Because again, it's a great package. It visually is beautiful. So and I love Crash 2.
Yeah. And now I know recently they added some DLC to the Crash remake.
Yeah, they did a couple.
Brand new. Yeah, that's like brand new levels that obviously, that had never been in any game. Like they're straight up just like original games. I mean, original levels. Are you hoping that they add that to Spyro as well? Or is it kind of like, you're not really interested? I don't know if you played the new Crash DLC. I don't think you did.
Yeah, I haven't played the new Crash DLC, but I think for the same reason people were doubting a Spyro collection would be made, I doubt they'd add a brand new original level, because the reason people were like, oh, they're not going to do Spyro is because Crash is just a pretty straightforward point A to point B running, jumping,
Right, yeah.
Spyro is a fully explorable 3D space. There's different worlds, lots of different like places you can glide to. It has a camera you can move, so it's more in depth.
It's more technical, yeah.
Yeah, so for that reason, I don't think there's going to be original DLC. If it does well and they want to make a Spyro 4, technically in that timeline canon, whatever you want to call it, I'd be into that if they do a good job. Gotcha. So, yeah, but everything about the Spyro ReIgnited trilogy is good for me right now. I'm very excited to revisit these games. There is a controversy that popped up, though, for some people.
Dun, 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 dun.
Thank you. So,
major controversy.
People are upset because with the Crash Bandicoot collection, all 3 games were on the disc, meaning you put the disc in, it installs, and then when you boot the game up, all 3 games are there, right? So,
precisely.
There was a story that came out a few days ago at this point where the Spyro Trilogy has the first game on the disc to download, and then you're going to have to download the other 2 games from the PlayStation Network, meaning if you own the game, you get those for free. You don't have to pay extra or anything. It's basically like you bought the games digitally, except the first one is coming off of the disc that you bought, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So essentially, okay, so like let's say Joe Schmo doesn't have an internet connection, let's just say, right? Gets Spyro physically from Walmart, from GameStop, comes home. Are you saying that like he cannot download the second and third Spyro games?
Correct.
Because only the first Spyro game is on disc?
Yes.
Ooh. Oh.
Yeah,
geez.
So a lot of people have that reaction to it. Personally, I don't mind. I was going to buy these games digitally anyway. I bought Crash digitally. and I'm pretty much embracing the digital future at this point.
Yeah.
But yeah, there is that selection of people who either don't have a connection to the internet on the PSN, maybe kids don't have the ability to get onto the network. There are some small, to my knowledge at least, small sections of the gaming population I'm familiar with that would run into issues with this. Obviously, other territories are going to have bigger or smaller populations who don't have access to the internet. So that is a bit of a problem.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And like just to speak a little bit long on like this whole aspect of it. Like obviously, when you hear that, okay, we have Spyro the game, you buy it physically. First one's gonna be on disc. The other two you're gonna have to download from the internet, right? For, I would say, the majority of gamers in this day and age, right? People that are on Twitter, people that are heavily in the games, people that watch YouTube content, you know what I'm saying? Like us that look at E3 as like our Christmas, I feel like it's very much less of a deal to us, obviously, because our consoles are always looking at the internet. Like there's never a time when my PS4 or I'm not on the internet, you know? So to me, like, it's not a big deal, right? But I think also, the major backlash, I think, is mainly, maybe, I don't know. Because the reason why I was like, oh, but not for me, but for, that person that actually doesn't have internet.
Right, yeah.
And, so, like, maybe in the Midwest, who knows, you know what I'm saying? But, or maybe, even if you didn't have the strongest internet, I think you'd be a little bit annoyed. But once you just let that download over, whatever slow internet connection you have, I think eventually you'll be fine because it's going to be there. It's a one-time thing, it's a one-time thing that you'll have to deal with, just one-time inconvenience.
Right, and the comparison to Crash, I don't know if that's completely fair because Crash did have that day one patch to download to make the game like better. Moving forward with the way digital and game distribution works, going to be running into this type of thing more often. There wasn't a full explanation behind it. Somebody speculated, and I kind of agree with this, most likely 2 and 3 probably needed a bit more work, but they didn't want to delay the game because of Red Dead.
Yeah, that's what I think I would assume.
And then 2 weeks after this, Assassin's Creed is out and Mario Party, so like they're not going to want to really
mess with
push that date anymore,
Yeah.
Especially if they want to try and get Crash sales on this, which is already like people are speculating, but
exactly, yeah. Well, because like I would say like at this point, because this game is slated for the 21st of September, right?
21st, yeah.
Is that just, yeah, it's 21st, right? So because there's no pushing this game, honestly.
Right.
And if you're gonna push it, it's gonna be out this year, and make it to be a big January hit, which I doubt they want to wait that long,
Right,
so.
yeah, because then January you got Resident Evil and Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, yeah, Kingdom Hearts, yeah. So like even that's a bad month to release, yeah. So definitely, understand that for sure. But So from my perspective, obviously, I feel the majority of us talking about this, not the biggest deal in the world, because we all have internet. But I'm just thinking about that one soul,
you're right,
somewhere that, So.
And there's always going to be people who prefer buying physical, and there's going to be issues with that and downloads and all that stuff. But
yeah, for sure.
Regardless,
go ahead.
I was going to say, regardless, I'm still very excited for the Spyro Trilogy. Can't wait to get that. Probably buying day one. It's $40, so not bad.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's only 40? Okay.
$40 for 3 games, very good games. Yeah, so that is Spyro, September 21st. Spyro. Very excited for that.
Shout out.
But a couple days after that,
that's what I'm talking about. There we go.
We got something you're very excited for. I'm excited for it too. I just have to catch up.
We're both very excited. Very excited. Okay, so we are talking about, obviously, Life is Strange 2.
September 27th.
Now, September 27th. Now, I feel it's only necessary that we go over what you haven't played out of the Life is Strange series. Like, did you completely not play Before the Storm?
I haven't played it yet.
Okay,
I just haven't had the time. It's in my backlog. It's not because it was a different studio. I know. I heard it was very good.
Yeah.
So, I'm excited to play Before the Storm. I just haven't gotten around to it.
Okay. Yeah. Definitely play it because Life is Strange. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I think also it's shaping up to be a little bit less needing of playing Before the Storm from the way Life is Strange 2 is being kind of, talked about from Don't Nod and what they're kind of doing with this whole thing, which I know we talked about a little bit before the podcast, and we're kind of not so sure and sold on if they're telling the complete truth here,
Right. So I think it's worth mentioning real quick. We're recording Thursday today, and there was a teaser, I should say, for Life is Strange 2. It's a bit under a minute, and it's just police dash cam footage. Rolls up to a crime scene. Some guy calls into the station. Car gets flipped over. You see the guy go flying. And that's pretty much it. And it says full reveal August 20th.
Yep.
So.
Yep. So now, those, of course, that have been with me. Oh, wait. You also have not played Captain Spirit.
Correct. Because I want to do Before the Storm first, and then I'll do Captain Spirit. Yeah.
Definitely do that. But Captain Spirit, obviously, of course, ties in directly into Life is Strange 2. It's kind of like this prequel type of thing. This right, and they've also said that the choices that you make in Captain Spirit will affect Life is Strange 2, based on which I think is super interesting.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, because to me, the different choices that were made in Captain Spirit, and also I played it live on stream on this channel, and there's actually a VOD of it on the channel as well. So if you have not played it, definitely go check it out. But even if you haven't, it's a free download. I say you play it. If you're somewhat remotely interested in Life is Strange, definitely play that, at least for the Life is Strange 2 when it comes out. But with Captain Spirit, like the different choices that you made didn't seem like it would have that big of an impact.
That makes me very excited then.
That's what I'm like, what are they gonna, you know what I'm saying? Because like to me, like it was just little choices that were only gonna affect
hearing that right now.
Yeah, exactly. So now I'm thinking like, how are they gonna, and like I don't want to, I'm gonna have like,
I don't think we should spoil this.
Yeah, I don't want to spoil it, obviously.
Like any Life is Strange at all, I don't think we should spoil, because I played it last summer.
Right.
Hit me hard. That is a good story.
Life is Strange. Love Life is Strange so much.
Yeah, Life is Strange is pretty great.
I can talk for hours about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, go ahead.
If you're listening to this and you have not played Life is Strange, do it. It's very cheap. I saw it was free no, it wasn't free. It was on Steam on sale for like $4 or less than $4 the other day for the entire first season.
It's so worth it.
It's worth it. It's very worth it. I probably got like 15-ish hours out of all 5 episodes.
I loved it.
Easy platinum. Yeah. More polished than Telltale games. So if you're into that Telltale vibe, I would suggest it. It's a very cool story. It's X-Men 100%. Vibes, like indie X-Men vibes. A few things I want to run through about Life is Strange that I have written down. Obviously, you just said Captain Spirit ties in, sets it up. This is the return of Don't Nod, because they did not produce
Shout out
Before the Storm. They did Vampire, I want to say. Was that their most recent game?
Yeah. Is it pronounced Vampire? Or
it's Vampire, from what I've seen.
It is.
Everything I know I've heard
spelling,
says Vampire. Yeah.
I've heard it's still called Vampire, even though with the Y, but if it's Vampire, then okay, yeah, cool. I just didn't know.
Yeah, that's how I've seen it pronounced. So, yeah, Don't Nod coming back for Life is Strange 2. And this is not a spoiler at all, but Life is Strange, the main story, is about Max Caulfield and Chloe. Oh, what's her last name?
Oh my gosh. Hold on. Dang. I forgot to.
This is tripping me up right now.
I was thinking, hold on. I was thinking, as you said it, I'm like,
Chloe.
My gosh, keep talking.
Chloe.
Something. It's something. I know it.
It's Max Caulfield. I know Max.
Yeah.
Max is the player character.
Chloe Price. Chloe Price.
Okay, yep.
There we go. Bet. Okay, beautiful. Got it.
So yeah, they are not the main story continuing in Life is Strange 2, which is interesting. We got some questions
which I want
there.
to talk about as well. Yeah.
I feel like they have a lot of different directions they can go. I think it's a good idea to ditch Max and Chloe for Season 2 so you can flesh out this world, tell a completely new story in that style. Maybe switch some things up with style even. But
yeah,
I'm excited to see what they do, because the first Life is Strange, obviously, like I said, hit me.
Yeah, I loved first. Like you hear us talking right now about it, but like we're underselling it. Like I don't know if I can properly like convey in words like how good Life is Strange is. Like how you get sucked in so quick, and they just build this narrative that you care. So obviously, with that being said, for their first go at Life is Strange, I'm assuming that they're going to be the same thing in Life is Strange 2, of course, with the same dev team, Don't Nod, as well. And if you are unfamiliar with Life is Strange, you know what I'm saying? Before the Storm is different in ways that you don't typically see in games really that much, because it is a prequel to Life is Strange, right? Obviously, it's also a different dev team, right? It's not Don't Nod, but that honestly doesn't doesn't feel like it's from a different dev team in like a bad way. Honestly, like Before the Storm, there's some things you can tell that it's not Don't Nod a little bit. Like I feel like there's some choices in the soundtrack that to me felt kind of weird, and there's some writing too that felt kind of odd from talking about Chloe. But obviously, well, not obviously. I'm sorry. Before the Storm, it's a prequel to Life is Strange, right? So Chloe's going to be a little bit different, you know, before than what she is in Life is Strange, right? So there's going to be that little difference there. And also a big thing to know about Before the Strange is that there are some reoccurring characters in Life is Strange Before the Storm that are in Life is Strange, but they have different voiceover artists.
Yeah.
Because of a strike that was going on while they were developing Before the Storm, right? So I feel honestly they did a pretty good job at nailing them pretty close. It's a little bit weird right after going from Life is Strange, and I know it's gonna be very weird if you play them like back to back.
Yeah.
Because I had a few months removed from Life is Strange, so I kind of forgot how they originally sounded.
Yeah.
But you will catch it if you play it back to back. You will catch, and even if you haven't played it in a while, you will catch that. Hey, this character sounds a little bit weird. Honestly, it really affected me for like a few minutes, and then I was fine.
Yeah.
So, just little things to note there. But on the decision that you talked about as well about Don't Nod, how they aren't gonna have Chloe and Max in Life is Strange 2, I just don't buy it. I don't buy it.
Yeah,
you know
and
what I'm saying?
I feel like we should be careful with spoilers because of the potential
of
ending of Life is Strange.
Right.
But
Right.
I could easily see them take a route where some characters we're familiar with end up showing up again.
Yeah, I just don't like okay.
It's an infamous one situation.
I'm trying to tiptoe.
It's an infamous one situation.
Yeah, exactly.
Like there's a clear. Just play the game. Play the game.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Cause like I don't know how to talk about it, but long story short, me and Christian don't buy that. They're completely not in Life is Strange 2, but we'll leave it at that, right? But to talk a little bit more about
question for you.
What's up? Go ahead. Yeah, shoot me the question.
So, I have an answer for this, but if you had to recommend to our lovely viewers who haven't played Life is Strange to play Before the Storm or Life is Strange first, what would you tell them to do? Because personally, I would say Life is Strange first. Because the way, again, I haven't played Before the Storm yet, so obviously.
Right.
But I feel like going into Before the Storm, I'll enjoy it more because I know where Chloe ends up, and I just want to see where she is in the beginning of that game and how she got to where she was at the beginning of Life is Strange. And I feel like that growth, or character growth at least, would be something that I would enjoy seeing happen when I know what's going on, or where I know it's going. But, yeah, like you said, it's hard to sell it without giving too much away. The game made me cry.
Yeah.
I think like once, maybe twice, but it did make me cry, so I can sell it that way at least.
Yeah.
Also, like I said, very easy platinum. Very, very easy platinum. Just look up where you have to take the pictures. That's it.
But so yeah, I would also recommend you play Life is Strange first and go to Before the Storm. Now, there is only, I see, one benefit to playing Before the Storm first and Life is Strange, and that is if you solely, for some reason, care only about Chloe, right? Because to see where Chloe was in Before the Storm, and how she is and how she ends up in Life is Strange would be a super great arc to see that, right?
Oh yeah,
but
I bet.
like just thinking about it right now, like that'd be such a great arc. But because if you play Before the Storm second, right, there's so many different threads
that you pick up on.
Like, okay, yeah, they're like, okay, like this is where this comes in from Life is Strange, and this, that, and that. You know, this is why this character is like this. You know what I'm saying? So that is definitely why I'd say Life is Strange first, and then Before the Storm. Just get over the voice acting. It's fine. It's really not that bad. And I don't think anyone has really said it's that bad, honestly.
Yeah,
like,
everything I heard of the new actor, I think her name is Raven, right, for Chloe? Because it used to be Ashley Birch, I want to say.
Ashley Birch's Life is Strange.
Right.
Like the original, and then this new one. Yeah. I'm not familiar with the new voice actor from Before the Storm.
And I mean,
but,
plus
like,
people said that Chloe was younger in that game, so it kind of, like, if you just thought of it that way, it ran with it a little bit, but...
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. To me, I just saw it as, like, a whole... Like, she... Based off what happens in Before the Storm, she's just a very different person in Life is Strange.
Yeah.
You know, in terms of Chloe. Right? So, to me, it was just... That's kind of where I found peace in it, where I was like, this is just a whole... She's just a whole different personality overall. You know what I'm saying? So, to me, it was fine. But, yeah, I don't think anyone has really, you know, said it was bad or whatever. I feel like everyone's kind of in the same boat as me, where, yeah it's kind of weird, but then it's fine, you know? So, that, but...
So, with Life is Strange 2, I want to know, do you expect it to, based on what you saw in Captain Spirit, and based on our short teaser... Are you expecting a like radical shift in the tone or the presentation or the story we're going to be getting? Because Life is Strange is very much about like a teen coming of age sort of thing. But Captain Spirit, from everything I saw, again, I haven't played it yet, it looked like just having fun as a kid. And then Life is Strange 2 looks pretty dark. Life is Strange does get dark. But, like, Life is Strange 2 looks like, oh, some stuff's gonna go down, you know?
Okay, again,
so, yeah, do you expect, like, changes, and would you like changes? Like, what do you think about that?
So, so, again, I'm tiptoeing here. So, long story short, play Captain Spirit, and then listen to this back, and you'll understand the context of what I'm saying here, right? So, like you said before, obviously, this is public knowledge. You know, Captain Spirit follows, I think his name is Chris Erickson, I think his name is. Yeah, Chris is definitely his name. And, again, he's a young boy who is very much like an imaginative little kid. Like, he's like like you're just standard kid that loves superheroes and everything. And he has this superhero kind of like alter personality called Captain Spirit, right? And I can't even go into that thing. Okay, so there's a very serious and sad reason that will it's giving me tears. Like, that is why he made Captain Spirit. Like, why he has this, like, alternate ego, right? And it's a coping mechanism. That's what I'm going to say, right? Of, historically speaking, Life is Strange, when you play it and everything, especially in terms of Life is Strange 1, right? With the abilities that you have as Max in Life is Strange 1, you manipulate things and you interact with certain story elements and things of that sort that I can't obviously detail in a very disconnected way, right? So to just explain it in like metaphorical ways, right? Like, let's say I have a door, I have a fan, I have me, right? In Life is Strange 1, what you would commonly do and what you were kind of taught to do in the game was turn on the fan and turn up to a specific amount of power and voltage to spin that fan faster to open the door, right? You would never go up and open the door, right? In Life is Strange 2, right, and based off of what they're showing in Captain Spirit, I think they're changing it to where the fan is no longer needed, and you're going to be just opening up doors willy-nilly off your own power, right? Okay. So that's what I think, and I don't even know if that made full sense, but to me, it kind of, that's how I'm going to explain it. You know what I'm saying? I think that you're, essentially, instead of...
If I understood this right, essentially what you're saying is the way you deal with your power in Life is Strange 1 is like tiptoeing, and you're expecting Life is Strange 2 to just be blown out. Is that what you're saying?
A little bit. Like, so, like, I guess the powers are used in a different manner to achieve what you're going for.
Got it.
Right? Because with Life is Strange, you'll still achieve what you're going for. It's just in a different way.
Yeah, Life is Strange 1, I think it's okay to say the power because it is a game mechanic for that type of game.
Okay.
You can manipulate time.
Yeah.
So
it's
it's interesting. Travel. Yeah, it's interesting because it's basically the same reason when people play Telltale games and it's like, oh, Clementine will remember that. You hit, oh, turn off on PS4, did the wrong decision, I want to go back. The game is that same style, except you don't have to reset your PS4. You hold down a trigger, you rewind time to the last action, and then you can pick a different option. So they let you. I think it's a very interesting concept, and it seems like they came up with the concept and then created a game around it, and then now it's just flourishing into its own thing, which is awesome. So I'm really curious to see what the power is. Like in that trailer, we saw, like, I guess some force energy sort of thing that pushed that police car over and sent that guy flying. But
and,
I'm really excited. I don't know how much there is to say without spoiling, but do you have closing thoughts for Life is Strange 2 or?
Yeah, so in terms of the trailer, right, based on what you saw in that trailer and what everyone saw, essentially, right, like, that makes a lot of sense when you play Captain Spirit. And I think from that one line, you can connect the dots and be like, okay, but that's where I'll leave it at, right? So number one, play Captain Spirit. It's very short. It's like a 2-hour thing.
Also free.
Very, very quick. Yeah, also it's free. Like, come on, you know what I'm saying? And honestly, I'm in. It definitely looks like they're changing Life is Strange for like Life is Strange 2. They're definitely, like, it looks like they're not going to play it safe. At least to me. It looks like they're going to definitely try new stuff here and bring in new elements and stuff like that. And I think it's going to stick. I think, obviously, I'm going to like it based off of Captain Spirit. So, I'm in. Like, I'm so hyped. I can't. I'm ready to go.
Yeah, I'm excited.
And then also to note as well, for those that are new to Life is Strange, it is episodic. And the second one will also be episodic as well.
Right, so when we say September 27th, that is episode 1 of Life is Strange 2 comes out that day. It's not the entire game, but it is probably like a 3 to 4 hour episode, would you say? That's usually how long it took, depending on how, like, what pace you went at. Because I took my time. I interacted with, like, everything I could. I took all the pictures. So, if you want to do completionist, again, platinum for the game, because it's an easy platinum, probably around like 3-ish hours, I'd expect.
Yeah, I'd say 3 to 4 hours an episode. And now I think you got into Life is Strange at the same time as me, where it was free for PS Plus.
Yep, last summer.
I don't know how long. So I don't know how long the breaks in between episodes are. Or I'm assuming maybe like a month and a half, maybe 2 months or so. I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah.
From that standpoint, like how long they'll have to wait for every episode to come. But yeah, so. And I think with Life is Strange 2, I'm not going to do that. I think I'm just going to play it as they come out because I don't think I can feasibly wait.
Yeah, I like episodic games.
Again, you know?
I enjoy episodic games because it gives me a reason to come back. Like, I enjoyed... I didn't play Hitman episodically. I played it when it came out physically, but I really would have enjoyed playing it episodically based on the way they broke that game up. Telltale, another one that I played Batman episodically. Very good release for that, because Batman came out, I'm pretty sure, monthly. It might have skipped 1 month, but Batman was on a really good schedule. So every release that Batman had, it's like, oh, Batman night. So I looked forward to that.
Right.
So if I catch up in time, which I'm planning on, I will be doing Life is Strange 2 episodically. There's one last game, also coming from Square Enix, that I think is worth mentioning because it's a big game for September. You can tell the games we're talking about in this episode aren't huge like Spider-Man was, that we could dedicate an entire show to talking about them. Shadow of the Tomb Raider. Tomb Raider is an iconic franchise, obviously. It inspired so many different games. It was like 90s Uncharted pretty much. Like, there's lots of history with Tomb Raider, so I think it's worth mentioning also because I've heard nothing but good things about this reboot series. A few notes to run through and we can discuss. This is the third entry in the reboot trilogy that started, I believe, in 2013 with just Tomb Raider. We got Rise of the Tomb Raider in 2015, exclusively on Xbox, then it came out a year later on PS4. And it is developed by Eidos Montreal. So it was the first two were developed by Crystal Dynamics. They're obviously working on the Avengers game now. So Eidos Montreal is picking up Tomb Raider. Little mention about the gameplay. We did see some footage for the first time at E3 this year. Some stealth predator mode going on in the jungle, Lara Croft being cool. There's a hub world of the game, so it's a similar setup to what God of War was this year. And I think Rise of the Tomb Raider, the second game in this reboot, was also very much like God of War. Like, you had a hub, you had different branching paths. It is going to be the largest hub in the Tomb Raider franchise to this date. And the story setup is it's an apocalyptic Mayan apocalypse. There's a relic and rituals she has to stop. And Trinity is this like thread that's gone through all three games. It's this organization that wants to hunt her down and be better than her. But gotcha. I have not played any of the Tomb Raider reboot games. I feel bad about that because they look really cool. I like Crystal Dynamics, and I've always felt guilty about not playing those games because I love Uncharted so much, and they look like more open Uncharted, you know? Like, it's very easy to draw a comparison to Uncharted. So, I want to talk to you because I know you haven't played any of these games, and I know you're not that excited for Shadow of the Tomb Raider. I personally probably won't be picking up this game because I didn't play the first two.
Yeah, same, yeah. Just solely, like, and the reason why also, I think you explained as well, why I didn't play the reboots of Tomb Raider. It just didn't, there's just something about that, just those reboots in particular that just really didn't get me like wanting to play it. You know, I don't know what it is, and obviously I can't say that the game is bad. I never played it, and it seems like a lot of people, I guess, enjoy it. You know, for what it is, considering that now it's on its third installment. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like definitely like there is some sort of fan base, if you will, like a cult, not cult, but like a reasonable sized following for the franchise, right? So I'm not gonna say, and obviously it has plenty of lineage from way back, but just these reboots just didn't really intrigue me enough to go and get them. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know if I will, honestly. If they come out with some really cool trilogy collection down the line, maybe at that point, you know, like if they do like, hey, 1, 2, 3, there you go, you know, and charge me whatever you want to do, like maybe in a year's time or something like that, that might be more up my alley, so I can just have them all and play them all straight through, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But other than that, you know, it really, you know, doesn't interest me, you know what I'm saying, personally.
Yeah, so I've heard lots of really great things about the reboot original Tomb Raider and Rise of the Tomb Raider, but I've seen very middling, mixed, unenthusiastic responses about Shadow of the Tomb Raider. I don't know where that's coming from, if it's that Crystal isn't working on it now, or if it's, well, I think there is some like back and forth between the two studios, but I know Crystal is not actually the lead studio on it.
Yeah, it's like a joint operation, right? Like it's
something like that. I know they have a weird partnership for one of their Marvel games too, so they have some crossover there. But I want to close out talking about Tomb Raider with asking you, what would this game, or specifically this Tomb Raider game, what do you think this game would have to do for you to be sold on this and hop in on it? Like, is there anything that you haven't seen yet, or anything that you've been wanting from what you've seen about Tomb Raider 1 and 2 that would, if they presented it as being in this one, you'd be sold on?
Right. Okay, so obviously, like you said before, there are clear parallels to draw to Uncharted, and as many of you probably likely know, Uncharted is my favorite franchise in gaming of all time. You know what I'm saying? I adore Uncharted, right? So I think if I ever pick up and play Tomb Raider, I think because of those parallels, I think I'll end up enjoying myself playing it. I definitely, will enjoy the game overall. But what I've heard a lot of critique based off of playing the first and second, not me, but other people playing it, right, is that the first is a very good start, right? It's a very great reboot and stuff like that, and just the way they build up Lara Croft as a character, again, kind of is a great way they did it in the first reboot Tomb Raider. I forgot what it was called. Rise of the Tomb Raider, or was it the second one?
The first one was just Tomb Raider, and the second one was Rise of the Tomb Raider.
The second one, and then a lot of people have said that the second one, Rise of the
Tomb Raider, yeah,
that one kind of felt like another episode, like another first installment of the trilogy, right? So that's what I've heard. So like to me, that seems like kind of weird, and it felt like to a lot of people that like, you kind of had like two games that felt like the first of the franchise a little bit,
Yeah.
So that's what kind of has me a little bit held up on it. It kind of has me kind of turned off by Tomb Raider, at least these reboots, So I think, for me, if Shadow of the Tomb Raider not somehow, like as if like it for sure won't, but if it gets really good reception and it's really, really good from like what a lot of people are saying, then I would be inclined to get the whole trilogy, and play it during a backlog season, and maybe Shadow of the Tomb Raider is great, but the way they're selling it and the way at least they've talked about this game publicly, I don't feel the confidence behind this game from the devs. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, and there was that really weird interaction on Twitter around E3 when there was that Last of Us footage, and then there was somebody involved with Tomb Raider that was like, that's fake. Do you remember that?
Yeah. Like, and he took down a tweet and said like it was a mixed translation from his original. Yeah. And he was trying to say that he didn't call it fake, but he called it like so real that like it looks fake, like kind of like he was saying it like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
it's really weird. Yeah. There's a lot of mixed signals coming from this game. I don't think I'm going to be picking it up day one because, like I said, I haven't played the first two, and Spider-Man comes out 7 days before. I start classes around like the 5th of September, so like all my free time is going to be dedicated to Spider-Man for that all of September. So.
Here's the thing. I think there comes a few times, well, not even a few times, maybe like a couple, years where we get a game that should be hyped and should be a big deal, but I think it's going to get buried. And I think this game's going to get buried. I think this game's going to be...
It really sucks.
This game is going to get buried.
Because Rise got buried too because of that weird deal with Xbox. Came out the same day as Fallout 4.
And, that. And, this seems like it's going to be definitely like a... Was it Titanfall 2 that got...
Yeah, Titanfall was between those... what was between COD and Battlefield.
Yes.
So Sent to Die.
Battlefield, EA, EA, like the same publisher. That was weird too. So I just have a feeling that like this game is gonna get forgotten.
Definitely. Yeah, it sucks because
it's not gonna pop. Yeah, which is unfortunate, of course. For people that were working behind it and people that were actually fans of the Tomb Raider games, of the reboot. You know what I'm saying? So
I hope it does well.
Yeah,
I hope it's a great game.
Both do, but I'm not sold. If they come out with a trilogy online, I'm down, but. As of right now, I think I'm going to stay away from this.
Yeah, there's just too much to play right now. Especially the fall.
And considering Spider-Man is a week prior, like, come on, dude. Like,
yeah, so...
you know what I'm saying? Like,
but that is going to wrap up September for our late summer, leading into fall preview on PlayStation Source. So...
Beautiful.
So far, what we got Spider-Man, we got Spyro, we got Tomb Raider, and we got Life is Strange 2. That is not the order they release in. I was just trying to roll them off the top of my head. Spider-Man is my highlight for that month.
100%.
Next week, Assassin's Creed Origins. Not Origins, Odyssey.
2
O names.
That's gonna be
2 O names. Assassin's Creed Odyssey is next week. Very excited for that one.
I'm ready to go. I'm hyped for that one. Let's do it. Okay.
Yeah, see, that's going to be a meaty one. Okay. Just like Spider-Man, that's going to be a full hour on its own.
Let's do it.
I'm down. Kevin, where can the lovely subscribers find you online?
They can, of course, find me on my Twitter at the KDS123, THEKDIAZ123. I'll talk about gaming, of course, music as well. Astro World dropping tonight. Get hype, Travis Scott. Other than that, you can, of course, find me on PlayStation Source, this channel right now that you're watching or listening to this podcast right now. I want to make sure to stay subscribed to all the latest in PlayStation, and we post regularly here, all about PlayStation. Excuse me, can't talk today. So definitely, if you enjoyed the content, make sure to leave a like on it and subscribe to the channel as well for more as well.
Yep, and you can follow me on Twitter at Chris N. Buckley. Lots of games, lots of movies. Not as much music as I should be posting about, but if you want to leave a comment down below and talk about your impressions, what is your pick for September out of the 4 games that is listed? Or maybe it's a pick that we haven't gone over on the show. Maybe you're really hyped for Dragon Quest. I know a lot of people are. But if you enjoy the show, be sure, like Kevin said, to subscribe. So let us know what you want to see. Let us know what you want us to talk about. And more importantly, let us know if there's any games you want us to cover in our fall preview that we haven't said yet, because, like I said, it looks like October is probably going to be when we end up cutting off for the preview because of the way the fall's shaping up to be. But with that being said, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. You can catch next week's episode next Friday, as always, and greatness awaits.